you have got a sense of what treat you are going to be in for. So, words after that would seem absolutely, I mean, it will break the environment altogether. So, I take this opportunity to thank each one of you. But before I start doing that, I want to briefly, which Vishnupriya has already spoken about earlier, I wish to briefly tell you where the idea of this particular program came from for the 4-day event that we have had. It was basically to give a response to the Tukde Tukde gang narrative, which has been there all over the place. And that is why, symbolically, we have named this program JNUTA JNU MOSAIC. MOSAIC, you would have seen our poster. It is plurality coming together. So that's the sense behind the program. I have to start, and this also Vishnupriya has spoken about earlier. Joy Pachau, Professor Joy Pachau, our colleague in the TA, it was her idea right in the beginning when we started our term that we should do something like that. Now, think how much of thought and a process has gone through it that we are doing right at the end of our term. So it has really gone through an evolution, we have thought through it. What actually JNU represents as a public university, sense was we also wanted to represent that and what a public university should mean and come across as, and there should be many JNUs actually. So to make education free or nearly free, give an equal opportunity to all to pursue their dreams and aspirations regardless of their social background. And when JNU started, from the conceptualization, these principles were ingrained in that. Even though the process of this realization actually was never fully complete, it can never be. It is a work in progress. I am from CSRD, Center for Study of Regional Development, and when I was a student, I was told the story. I don't know, I think you people may not know about this story, meaning how JNU has evolved. So, earlier the first two sets was Uttarakhand and Dakshinapuram, and the plan was that you would notice that the hostels are located with the teachers' residences, and this was to actually enable a free-flowing idea between teachers and students and interaction between them. And this is the principle, this is an example, but this university therefore has been conceived as a space where teachers and students think together. And the admission policy, which has been thought through both by teachers and students, and some of you who attended Sohail Hashmi's walk, he has already spoken about this. It has been an evolution, but I think the admission policy, the way we have actually thought about that, has made the idea of this public university possible. So MOSAIC actually, when we conceptualized this, it was to bring all these to the forefront. Now, we probably would not have been able to do an event of this kind, say 1 year back. Last 5-6 years, in fact, that is why we have conceptualized this program. But during and it has been a very difficult time. The past few years have been very, very difficult, and all forms of dialogue had broken and fallen apart between the administration and the JNU community. The JNUTA very strongly believes that there should be a space for this dialogue, and an effort has been made towards this, and we are very happy that there are signs of opening up of this space for dialogue. And we welcome the recent statement made by the Vice Chancellor of the university when she said that there is some amount of healing which is necessary, and we believe in that. And what is also necessary is the freedom to express opinions, even though there is a long way to go, but a beginning has been made, and this event, I think, marks a beginning for that. I have to report a very, very unfortunate incident which has happened today. which makes us realize how important these freedoms are. Professor Surajit Majumdar, who's been the past JNUTA secretary and a professor of economics in the university, he was invited to a program today which was on Indian Constitution and Education Policy, organized by the Citizen Forum of Orissa in Utkal University, Bhubaneswar. When he started speaking, this program was disturbed, and there were people who were hurt and assaulted, one including a faculty member. We totally condemn event of this kind, and it actually reminds us how lucky, fortunate we are to be doing a program like this. Now, what has it achieved the past 4 days? I'm sure it has achieved different things to all of us, but I, on behalf of the JNUTA, would try and express that. It has helped us recreate an atmosphere which had vibrant thought and creativity. We have seen a gated JNU. I don't know if people, some of you were not present due to the pandemic, but some of you would remember that we were subjected to a gated JNU. We felt that this particular program actually saw the opening of the gates of JNU, both in terms of spaces, occupying spaces, and ideas, exchange of ideas. The last few days have been actually a celebration of not only the art of speaking, but also, more importantly, the art of listening, and the questions, the kind of questions which we heard from the participants, which we got from the participants, they themselves can become a thesis. And they were critical, they were thoughtful, they were profound. And thank you very much for all of that. It has also, unleashed a tremendous energy within the JNU community, and in the form of solidarity. Solidarity between students and teachers, solidarity between people from all walks of life. And it is also, to our mind, it has actually, achieved a culture of volunteerism. Every participant, we had packed halls, but we were not disturbed. Every participant became a volunteer and enabled us to conduct the program the way it was done. Now I begin my thanks actually in that backdrop. The first group of people I wish to thank is our alumni, JNU alumni, who completely funded the program. Now, one of the ideas was also to make them a stakeholder of this program, and therefore we actually requested for donations, and they have been very, very generous, and many donors we have had from all over the place. And we couldn't have held this program without them. We also thank our invited guests from Delhi and outside, which made the program possible. In terms of our addas, the film screenings and discussions, performances, campus walk, and food festival. I also want to we are very, very deeply grateful that they have done it pro bono, and they have not somebody as celebrated as Shubhaji is sitting. They've all done it pro bono, and that's also the reason we were able to conduct it. We also thank the MOSAIC Anthem team. You must have by now heard it several times. And we thank the entire team for their lyrics, composition, vocals, and the music. In particular, Ankush, who has been the heart of the MOSAIC Anthem. We thank all the participants, the students, the faculty, alumni, and friends of JNU who attended the program in such large numbers. You have seen when we actually organized it inside in an enclosed space, how many participants were there. And we wouldn't have been able to do it unless that spirit of volunteerism, which we were mentioning before, that was there. We thank many of the centers have been responsible for actually giving support in terms of infrastructure. School of Arts and Aesthetics and Professor Naman Ahuja, who's the dean there, we would particularly want to thank him. We thank Ghanashyamji, who's been in charge of the convention center, and we have been calling him in all odd hours, and he's really responded every time fully and given us full support. We thank the JNU administration and the security for the venues and the support that they've provided. We thank the technical and infrastructure support, sound, Pandeyji and Basantji, for tent, Chawlaji, for conveyance, Aruna Taxi. It was very important for us to disseminate this event because both to the public, because of the kind of image which has been created of JNU, to actually resist that and speak against that, and also for the alumni and whose sentiments have been heard. And it was very important to document this. So I actually thank Samim for recording and tirelessly all 4 days, and doing the Facebook Live team Prince, Aditya and Harish. The caterers have fed us and our volunteers all the time, also tirelessly. Thank Toshif, Latif and Shambhu. We thank Kapil and Sujit for helping us organizing the TA room on the first day event and keeping all the venues clean and ready for our use. It is not nice to thank your own, but I can't resist doing that. So I will be mentioning a few. I thank all the TA Executive Council members, but I will mention a few, and I'm sure the others won't mind. Everybody has pitched in. I thank Vishnupriya, our president. Solid thank you to you, and from leading us from the front and shaping this program, and the wonderful artist you had the opportunity to listen to and watch is mainly thanks to her efforts. Thank Aisha for her brilliance, her energy, her total commitment, and for asking the necessary and difficult questions at the correct time, which made us think through the program much more deeply and with utmost care. I thank Mollarika, the convener of the talks committee, but she has been there everywhere, so she's not been restricted to only that. I thank Swati and Pradipto for seamlessly managing the conveyance arrangement. Thank Akhtar Saab for taking care of the finances with a cheerful smile. You can't just miss that. Last but not the least, and Rohit, I don't know whether he's there. So he was officially in charge of the infrastructure, light, sound and tent. But as you people would have seen, he was there like Jack in the Box. Everywhere, every time, popping out whenever we needed him. And he's been the dynamic spirit behind this entire event. Without him, we could not have done this. And I don't know how he managed, but he was everywhere at all times, managing crisis on his own and immediately deciding and consulting us with miraculous quickness and cheerful ease. Thank you, Rohit Bhai. Last but not the least, our volunteers. I don't know how to express my gratitude to all of you. And see, we conceived, the JNUTA conceived a particular program, but it is they who ran it actually owned it and cherished it and dedicated all their energies. They went without food and sleep many times. There are more than 70 volunteers. I cannot name all of them, even though we will publish all their name in our blog post. We will gratefully acknowledge all their efforts. I will mention a few here. The SA performance team, core, I'm only naming some: Suraj, Priyanka and Komita, Swati for coordinating the food festival, Aditi, Amrit, Raina and Sabiha for taking care of not only the publicity, again they were only entrusted with that, but actually being all over the place, quite like Rohit. So please give a huge clap for all of them, please. Thank you. Now I hand it over to Sohail Hashmi to introduce Shubhaji and others.